Super cool. Hello, gang. Oh, let me switch over here. Woo! Hello. Oh my days. What is this song? No one tell him. No, this is the Domo anthem. No one tell this guy. No one. Diego, how you doing? Gambit. Tamora Tora. Is that bitch? How you doing? Hello, hello. Oh my god, waifu, bro. Telling him the tech, bro. It really be your own people, man. Jackshot, how you doing? Gambit. What's up, everyone? Fusion, holy crap, what I missed, Domo. Oh man, you weren't here all this weekend. If you guys are just seeing me bald right now, you are fucking, bro, you're fucking, dude, where have you guys been? My hair is gone. Yeah, I was out of town. My god, you guys are missing out, dude. Your boy is nice cut, G, thank you. So a little recap, all right? I imagine I'm gonna have to do this all week, because there are people that obviously weren't here last weekend, but we had a little Domo-thon, and for 1,000 buckaroos, girl DM flies over here and shaves off all my head, and we did just that. We hit $1,000, and we flew DM over here. She shaved my fucking head off. She slapped some cheese on it and a few eggs, made a whole omelet. Love the look, Domo. Thank you, Echo. Appreciate you gassing me up. And did your arms get swole? I'm trying, man. I'm trying. It's my bulk season still, guys. Zalia, welcome on in. And Kathier, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in our raiders. Just give us a few minutes. Let's get everybody in here first before we get the ball rolling. Let me switch over to my nice little city pop playlist. Super duper quick. But how are you guys? From one bald man to another, you're looking great. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are going to see me do this a lot. I'm going to be playing with my head a lot just because, like, you know, Echo as a bald guy, like the sensation of this is just so nice, man. So fresh. Foon, how you doing? Yo, Baldo, how it going? I'm doing all right. Does it itch at all? No, it does not. It feels great, honestly. Welcome on in. Hello, guys. Give us a few minutes before we get the CEO himself in with us. We have a very special guest. You guys already saw the post. It is the CEO of VStream, Mr. E, and he'll tell us a little bit more about himself later on. I'll let him do the talking. There he's in chat right now, waiting for his turn. I do the same thing when I get the sides of my head shaved. Yeah, I mean, like, usually I have like a bald fade at the side, but like feeling it on the top is just so much more crazier. Apache, good to see you. Hello, Fungi, good to see you. The E himself, the legendary, the man who does it all, the man behind everything, essentially. A quick little kind of announcement thing. So you guys, one of the dono goals was, I believe, so we hit about just over 2K. So I owe you guys a nice big 24-hour stream sometime this month. Let me plan that out for you guys, all right? Let me make it nice and juicy for you guys. But the one I think just before that, or two before that, was we get a new VTuber cutout, just like the one that we got 3 years ago of Mrs. Artemis. You guys remember? So we hit that goal, and I put up a Twitter post saying the most liked tweet is gonna get their VTuber cutout in our office, and something happened. So Akane, I think it's Akane. Akane was in the lead for a very long time. You guys can go see the poster if one of my mods can link the tweet. And Akane was the first in the lead, but Cherry Lupina of V Reverie, she took the lead, and she was basically in the lead up until like 30 minutes ago, and then something happened. There was a shift, and out of nowhere, Akane got like 200 likes on her post, like out of fucking nowhere. She got like boosted. She got botted. I don't know if it was her doing. She says it wasn't her doing, but come on, let's be real. The likelihood of her botting it to increase the likes is totally plausible. She put up a tweet that was like, "Oh my goodness, who like botted my tweet? This is totally not cool." Come on. I'm not saying she did it. But it's totally possible. Anyways, by her own good faith, she chose to. I'm kidding, by the way. I really doubt that she did like bought her own tweet. She ended up dropping out of the race because, you know, she didn't want it to be unfair. It was like crazy. I remember looking at, like, I replied to one of her tweets and I was like, oh, we should get you a consolation prize because you like really fought for trying to get first place for most likes. Cherry was almost at 1,000. Like, I think Cherry was at like 800. Akane was at 600. And all of a sudden, boom, she skyrocketed to like almost 1,000 likes in like mere minutes. Could hear you stream from Mona's end. Oh, word. Is Mona watching me? Say hello, Mona. And that whole thing happened. So anyways, Akane dropped out. And so now, guys, I must announce the winner for the VTuber cutout contest is the lovely Cherry Lupina. Everybody, 8s in chat, round of applause. So we're going to get a nice fat Cherry VTuber standee somewhere in the office. Maybe next to Artemis. Actually, right here would be like perfect, like right behind the couch. Just kind of popping out. I don't know how tall. I'm gonna ask for her like actual dimensions so we can make it lore accurate. But we're gonna get a nice little Cherry Lupina cutout. I'm gonna order it sometime either tonight or tomorrow. And by next week, you should see a nice, beautiful cherry sitting in the background. So, yeah, the cherries. It was close, though. It was like maybe like a 50-60 like difference, which isn't a lot because you can turn that around very quickly. But not 200 in the span of like a couple minutes. That was definitely some bot shit. Although I do feel very bad for Akane because that was still very close. I feel like she could have turned it if not for this like bot. So I want to give her like some sort of consolation prize because she was like winning almost the entire time right until the end and Cherry just overtook her. Seigi would have been so... Dude, honestly, I do have Seigi's full res PNG. I don't want to print it out without his permission. It's a little too late for that now. So it would have been a nice thought, you know, beforehand. If Segas won somehow. I know, guys. We'll do another... If we run another, some sort of like Domo-thon thing again, this will be like a running staple thing, right? Hit X amount, and then we can have a VTuber cutout, because the more the merrier here. Artemis has been alone here for, what, 3 years now? And I feel bad for her. Almost 3 years, guys. Like 2 years and 9 months, something like that. Yeah, yearly cutout or something. That would have been cool, man. That would have been cool. So let's, you know... We'll do more of these. Okay, sure. I'm gonna put you away. Everyone say bye, Cherry. Bye. Back into the abyss. Okay, guys. So that's pretty much it. That was the announcement for today. Cherry won the VTuber cutout. I'm gonna order it sometime. I don't know, tonight or tomorrow. I'll figure it out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, guys, yes, that's right, Fungi. It is E time. We're going to bring him in literally right now. So without further ado, I present to you guys the lovely, the wonderful, the big, wrinkly-brained CEO of VStream, E. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
It is going very good. So just as a quick, like, just to address it, you do have a model, right? What's going on there?
I do have a model. I am unfortunately on travel right now, which means I do not have access to my full rig and iPhone tracking and all that. So unfortunately, I'm using my PNG tuber here. But yes, I have a Live 2D model that I use for streaming.
Cool. So he's always on the go. Busy man trying to make VStream work. He lives and breathes VStream. Isn't that right, E?
That is absolutely right. I do not have a life outside of VStream. This is my life.
That's crazy. I don't have a life in general, so you're already one step ahead of most of us. I would imagine. E, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it. I hope it wasn't too like busy trying to like schedule you in here.
No. While I don't have a life, if I wasn't doing this, I would just be like working on the product. So have all the time in the world for you.
Hard at work as always. Now, super quick. The first question out of the gate, I want to ask you a bunch of like personal questions just so we can get to know you and know the company better. But there is really one question that we need to ask that will take care of the rest and open the book for us. We need your top 5 anime. I know I hear from this
question.
I hear from some people that you are an avid anime watcher, and I need your top 5 all time, not right now, all time.
That's so tough. All time is because like I watch seasonal anime. Like I really like watching every season as it comes out. But if I were to go all time, can I include movies or does it have to be like shows?
Oh yeah, movies. Movies are absolutely good.
Okay, that easy then.
Well,
Let's
you know,
just
okay, no, hold up. No, that is easy because then you're gonna list some like Makoto Shinkai, Ghibli stuff.
hell yeah! I'm about to list this entire discovery.
Okay. You know what? We'll include it. We'll include it. Go. Movies included.
All right. So, Your Name,
Okay.
5 centimeters per second.
Okay.
It's
It's like two Makoto right there.
Yeah, exactly. Summer Wars.
Summer Wars is dope.
Yep. As for shows, oh, so tough. I would say I don't want to say like basic shows. I want to give something that's actually like interesting. I don't know. The shows that I would go back to and just watch over and over again would be like Gurren Lagann, because that show was like so big for me, growing up.
Beautiful.
And probably outside of that, I don't know. If I'm going to be basic, Cowboy Bebop, just because it's just so good.
Cowboy Bebop is a classic, and fun fact for myself for Gurren Lagann, I skipped a midterm in university to watch the last 2 episodes. And then I tried to make it. I hopped on the train and I saw the time and I was like, yeah, I'm not fucking making this shit. So I just went home defeated. I was like, yeah, I'm not getting this midterm in time.
Oh no.
But it was totally fucking worth it because Gurren Lagann is based. Okay. Give me your another top 3 shows.
Top 3. Oh god, you're going to make me keep going. All right, here we go.
Outside of the 2 that you just mentioned.
Yeah. Let me look at what I'm watching right now, because they'll inspire me.
Okay, all right.
But I just want to name the shows I'm watching right now. Okay, I still watch One Piece, and I've watched One Piece for years and years and years. I think it's only gotten better. Like, I know some people really hate the new animation style. I love One Piece and still watch it pretty much weekly. A place farther than the universe. Did I get the name right? Do you know if I got the name right there?
The universe. Hold on. I have to Google it super quick. A place farther.
That show, I wept at the end of it. Truly. The second to last episode, I ended up crying.
Really?
100%.
Wow. Yeah, and I remember seeing this, and I remember at the time there were a lot of slice of life anime, so I think I must have passed on this, but wow, really?
It's so good. It's so good. And then I would also say, think of like more healing anime. Flying Witch. I think Flying Witch is like my go-to healing anime if you just have a cozy time, feel good. I really love that show. No one's watched it, but like I like it.
No, I've watched Flying Witch. Wow, honestly, that was like I wasn't expecting you to pull out some gems there, man. I thought you were gonna go like very surface level. Do you watch a lot of anime?
I do watch a lot of anime. I watch probably 5 to 6 shows every season.
God damn! I wish I was on the wave. I miss watching seasonal anime. I don't really have the opportunity as much lately, but that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I watch at least 1 good show and probably 4 really bad shows.
4 really bad. And you continue to watch them?
Yeah, because it's junk food anime, and I'm not better than junk food. I'll watch that.
That's true. I love that. I love the mentality. Back when Domo was an anime reviewer. Oh yes, the good old days. The good old days. Only the small handful of you know about that. But yes. Okay. Honestly, solid list there. On a more serious note, let's get to know you a bit more, and then we'll talk about VStream, because I know some of the hard-hitting questions. I'm gonna grill you later, E, just to let you know, and I'm letting you off easy for now.
I'm here for it.
Cool. Can you tell us a bit about your background generally, and like where you're from before VStream, maybe what you did, just as much as you want to tell us.
Yeah. So I've been someone working at startups for about a decade now. I'm a programmer. So like I build products, but I like to think I do a little bit more than just programming nowadays. I also have gotten pretty involved in like marketing and general business development and stuff like that. So I like to be kind of involved with everything, but definitely grew up as a programmer and grew up on the East Coast, where, I mean, really early on, I was super into Japanese stuff in kind of a almost a lot more than what people would expect. But yeah, I literally flipped a coin when it came to college, and heads was going to programming, tails was go to Sophia University in Tokyo and go down like the Japanese translation path, and came up heads, which now I'm coming back to it.
Did you really flip a coin to the side? Were you like that torn?
Yeah, 100%. That is not a fake story. Yeah, I literally was in a room with my dad, and I flipped a coin, and boom.
That wasn't scary for you at all? Just putting your whole life on the line on one coin?
I have an engineer's brain, and I feel like I looked at it, I was like, in terms of like global happiness, it's probably only plus or minus 10% choice here. Like, I'll probably be happy in life either way. So who cares?
I love the boldness, E. Now E, actually, the name E, or where did that even come from? Does it stand for anything?
I will admit it's not necessarily my real name, but I really like, you watch anime, all the anime characters have like really punny names a lot of the times, and a lot of times if you don't speak Japanese, you don't know that.
Yeah.
I really wanted to come up with like a pun thing. So my last name is Jikan, which for folks that don't know is the Japanese word for time, but I don't use the kanji for time. I use the kanji for one's leisure. So E in Japanese is a homonym for the word good. And so it's having like a good time, but also a leisurely time, right? And also creating an entertainment platform.
That is so convoluted. Oh my god.
Also, my fan name is E Hito, which is, good people, right? Because I want my fans to be reflections of myself and be good people. So yeah, I like the name for that.
Wow, there's like layers to this. Now, I love how you came up with your name, and I want to get to know you a bit more. But, you're the CEO and all, but it seems that the community has taken a like to a certain someone else, to a certain Bell. He seems like, we know you, but he almost seems to be like the company's like other face right now, because like, I don't know if because he was at like conventions and people have been like talking to him a lot. Yeah, the silly cat man. What do you think of Bell, E?
I put up with him for sure.
Yeah.
No, Bell's great, and I love how involved Bell is with the community. Like, I think we encourage everyone to get super in there. I think Bell is just much more comfortable just DMing strangers and getting to be like, "Hey, I'm Bell. Want to hang out?" And the rest of us are bigger introverts and don't know how to do that kind of thing. But yeah, it's awesome that Bell and Ada and other members of the VStream team have been able to like reach out and be able to hang out with folks on stream and meet up in conventions and stuff. I've unfortunately just been traveling a lot, so I haven't been able to go to any conventions. TwitchCon is going to be the only convention this year that I'll actually be in person for.
Oh, you're going to TwitchCon as well?
I am going to TwitchCon.
Nice.
We are not really going to have a presence there because it's someone else's convention, right? But I am there to like just meet up with folks and hang out and do business and stuff like that.
Oh, very cool, very cool. And I mean, yeah, we all love Bell. I've met him personally. I've been actually to your office in San Francisco, and you guys have a lovely like small tight knit community, and I like, well, obviously startup culture, right? So. We love Bell out here, and I can see a bunch of people talking about him, Vorless, Joker, and all. So nice to see you guys here. But yeah, back to you really quickly, E. What does a CEO of a company do on his spare time? I mean, obviously watching anime is among many things.
What was that word you used? Spare time? Can you explain the concept to me?
I mean, surely you have some. You watch like you said you watch 6 anime. I don't watch like more than like 1 or 2 at a time.
Okay, so when I'm not doing VStream things, I am watching either anime or YouTube. I probably put 30 hours of YouTube in every single week. And YouTube will actually report how much you've watched in the last week if you know where to look. And it's a number that's horrifying, for sure. But I can't stop. I love like video essayists on YouTube. That's like my go-to content.
Video essays? Like what about specifically?
Anything. I'll let someone talk to me for 2 hours about car tires if they're interesting enough. Like, I think just seeing someone really passionate about a topic and then doing a stupid long video about it, like I'm there every time.
Yeah, I think I'm also there as well. I'm like sucked into YouTube essays on movies and shows as of recently.
Yep.
Like dissecting shows
Totally.
and like, you know, direction and production. And it's like I love that. It's fascinating to me. But yeah, obviously you spend a lot of time on YouTube, 30 hours a week or so, and you eventually fell into the rabbit hole of VTubing, right?
Yes,
Do
absolutely.
Do you happen to remember the first VTuber clip that you watched?
Yes, 100%. It is Coco and no, don't do this. Don't do this to me. It's Coco and Hashima. Oh my god, that took me way too long.
Yeah.
And she's trying to tell Coco that she wants to go to the top of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh.
And butterfry. And I just thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I think
and I had to watch all of them.
I think that was that Hachima? I want to say that was someone else. It might
No
have,
way. That was wait, was that not Hachima?
I want to say that was someone else. I have like a different voice in my head. Yeah, it was Sakura Miko. It was definitely Sakura Miko. Now that you said
Oh, it was Miko. You're totally right. It absolutely was Miko. See,
fan,
this is why.
fake
yeah, I know.
fan.
Fake fan.
But that
Look,
was.
if they're not on VStream, I can't watch them anymore, unfortunately.
You're just contractually obligated. You can't anymore.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have to spend
man.
all of my stream time on VStream.
Oh god. Well, yeah, I think that was definitely one of my first clips as well, and I think you were probably the first person. I myself, my first clip also came from a Coco clip, and it was the auditions for HoloLive EN. Funny enough, and she was the one advertising it, and it was this like wacky video. I didn't really understand what was happening, but Coco was in that clip. So high five to you, E. Thank you so much. That you're finally. I found another brother that found Coco as their savior. So that's pretty cool.
Yes, absolutely. Coco was definitely the person who I watched because her content was just so accessible, right? That she spoke both Japanese and English.
Right.
It really was helpful to get into the whole space.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously, Holo EN was a big boom. We have Holo Advent now. A lot of VTubers, which leads me to my next question. Who are your top 3? I don't want to say like top this, top that, but who are some of your favorite VTubers that you've watched, like, you know, in recent time, in old time, and what have you?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and not just say like the close friends I've made through VStream now, which a lot of them are in chat. But I would say folks that aren't in there, hi Tamora, hi Angora, hi all the other folks in here. I would say Callie is still probably my number one. I really, really love Callie and her entire work ethic, how she goes about making music, how she's a role model to a lot of folks. I love Callie. One of the folks who I really, really like their content, I wish I got to interact with them more, is a woman named Spooky Rose.
Rose.
She's just like, she's not like a huge VTuber by any means, as far as I'm aware, but she is just like, every time I watch her streams, she's like really, really entertaining, energetic, like someone you could just sit in their stream for hours. And I think she's one of those people that I'm like, oh man, if just more people knew about her, she would like be huge. And then I can't stop watching probably Rin Penrose's shorts on YouTube.
Oh,
she's just like the queen of shorts.
I don't know how she churns them out so quickly and so like, and they're just so entertaining. Like I get sucked in every time. I think the first time I saw her was like a YouTube ad, and I was like, oh, they have VTubers on YouTube. Like that's like for their ads now. It's pretty cool. And I watched the whole fucking ad, and I was like, oh my god, that was actually pretty entertaining for an ad. So
yeah,
that's very
right?
cool.
Yeah, I think she's doing cool stuff. And yeah, I think it shows there's multiple ways to kind of like approach the whole VTubing world, right? You can do it streaming, you can do it shorts, you can do long form content. I've even seen people who like actually use AR and like will superimpose themselves in real life situations as their VTuber model, like doing like AC repair. And I think that's super cool.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think people like Rin and other people have like a great personality, and you know, which kind of stems into maybe why you made VStream. let's start there actually. Why VStream?
Yeah. I would say basically this all started like summer 2020, where COVID was doing its thing and we're all suddenly working from home. And I was the type of person that actually loved going into the office, and I still do. I really like that community aspect. I love being able to like work really hard and then get a beer at a local, pub or something like that. And like that was like my community, was the people I got to see every day at work. And then suddenly working from home, I felt like my community was kind of taken from me, and sure. I couldn't see my friends or any of that. And I was sitting in the park, meeting up with a couple friends, and we're all pitching each other startup ideas because, and Eric, my co-founder, was there. And like, we're all, I hang out with a bunch of entrepreneurial folks, and someone, not Eric or I, said, what do you think of a video platform for VTubers? And this is like Hull of Live EN had just dropped, and we were all talking about like our favorite EN members and stuff. And I think for Eric and I, we both looked at each other and were like, oh my God, we got to do that. Like, we really got to do that. Because for me, I just told you, like, I watch an F ton of YouTube. Like, I've always been a huge content consumer. But in life, I always like being more of a producer than a consumer. And any place I can kind of figure out how can I turn my consuming habits into like production habits, that I think drives a lot of joy for me. And I was like, wow, this could actually like let me do that. And also like creating a video platform is really effing hard. Like, it's so hard. And as someone who doesn't really have a life outside of work, working on really hard problems and like just putting my full soul and body into it, like that's what I wanted to do. And I was like, damn, I could absolutely crush that problem. And also, a lot of VTubing at the time was happening in Japan, and having a reason for a business to pay for me to fly to Japan more often would have been really cool. And I could actually use some of that Japanese skill I got in high school to like put that to use. So like that, all those reasons, like I was like, I think we have to do this.
So VStream is just basically a write-off for you, is all it is.
Well, also, I think going back to the community stuff and like feeling really not abandoned, but like taken away from my community, I really love VTubers and the community around them, and just the overall anime community as well. Like, and I was like, if I'm going to spend all my time doing work, I want to do it with a community that I love, and right. Interact with people that I really want to interact with, and make friends with people I want to make friends with. Like, if we're all going to be working from home, like I might as well hang out with cool online people.
Honestly, I think that's a great outlook. Yeah, like I myself have met like countless amount of like amazing people, content creators, and like from different ranges, and it's just so cool to see them come together in like one community. It just made it easy for me to like meet the same kind of people,
Absolutely.
Now you mentioned making a video platform is really effing hard, and I quote. What exactly do you mean by that? What exactly is hard about making VStream? You mean it's not just like you press 3 buttons and it's like you have a running website? It's not that easy?
We probably could have done it that easy, but we decided not to. I think the parts that make it hard is a few-fold. One, it's a marketplace, right? So whenever you're starting a marketplace, it's really hard because you have what's called in the startup land, the cold start problem. The cold start problem basically is like, whenever you have a marketplace, even a marketplace of attention, like a video platform like this, where you have both creators and viewers of that content, you kind of need both sides of the marketplace to show up at the same time, right? No creator wants to be on a platform that has 0 audience members, right. And no audience member wants to be on a platform that has no content to watch, right?
This is true.
And so you kind of have to do this kind of song and dance to get both sides to show up roughly around the same time and kind of at equal levels. And that's really hard, right? And I don't think there's any silver bullets there. You have to just fire a bunch of lead bullets and try a lot of shots at bat to kind of make that happen. And the other thing that's hard about it is it's really costly, right? Like your videos are not small files, right? And it takes a lot of bandwidth to serve them over the internet to potentially thousands or tens of thousands of people. And that costs a lot of money. And so you got to have like a pretty decent monetization strategy in place to like recoup that cost or somehow figure out how to mitigate those costs. So I think that those two things are probably the hardest parts. And then also it's consumer, right? I've actually done like a lot of business to business products over the years and worked at those kind of startups. And what's cool about business to business is like a business will tell you we're either losing money here or we want to gain money here. So like if you can solve one of those two problems, we'll buy your thing. When you're doing consumer, it's all about the feels, right? Like it's all about just like, oh, this seems cool, or oh, this seems hot, or oh, this seems whatever. And like it's a lot more luck based, I think. And so that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting approach. Super quick. Bip Bip, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in on Raiders. Crimson, thank you for the follow. We are with the lovely VStream CEO himself, talking about his company and his vision. Now, just super quick, I want to reel us back a bit before we really dive into the philosophy of the company and everything. Obviously, the marketplace and the audience and everyone is VTubers and VTuber watchers, right? For you specifically, I guess, what was the appeal for VTubers that got you hooked initially watching, and obviously, you took it this far?
Yeah, I think a couple fold. And so one is if you take a step back, and I'm probably one of the few people in the world who like thinks about this as critically. I think most people, they just like watch VTubers because they're cool. But if I were to like try and peel back the human psychology that's going there, I often think about economics, right? And up until this point, the only people who could participate in the industry of entertainment are people who often looked a certain way, right? Like, it was just like the more good looking you were, the higher the chance that you would be a successful entertainer, right? And I think streaming helped lower that barrier for sure, but still there is a certain look, especially for women, right? That you have to look a certain way or appeal a certain way to folks. And what's interesting about VTubing is it really removes that barrier to the marketplace, right? Where now I get to choose how I present to other folks, and I get to pick the very best way that I think represents me. Normally your parents get to choose how you look to folks, and you didn't really get a choice.
Sure.
But now you can, and I think this is going to enable a huge new wave of entertainers to enter the space. People who are funny and interesting and awesome to be a part of their community, but like have never decided to do this until they had this technology enabling them. So like I was like, wow, creating a platform that's about to capture this new wave of people that are going to show up over the next 5 to 10 years. That seems really exciting. So like I think that was one thing that was really interesting. The other thing that was super interesting was, I can't grow your hair by pressing a button right now.
You can't.
But if you were using a Live 2D avatar, I could. Like, as an audience member, I have ways of interacting with, VTubers in a way that you just cannot do with facecam streamers, right? Like, facecam streamers are not really willing to have, like, buckets of water poured on them or thousands of, like, bikes and bears and random items thrown at them and stuff like that. But you can with a VTuber. And, like, I think we've only really scratched the surface of what that level of interaction can look like. I think that was really interesting and really appealing of like, wow, you can do a lot more stuff. Because right now, you're kind of on your PC, you're compiling like an audio video stream and you're sending it over to Twitch and they're rebroadcasting it to all the viewers and stuff like that, right? But that's the same way how like football works, right? Like we're not taking advantage of like all the technology that's happened here. And I think creating a streaming platform where everyone is digital, suddenly you don't have to operate that way anymore. You can do much more interesting things and no one's taking advantage of that. I think that was super appealing. And then finally, the last thing, and this is like kind of the business side of it, VTubers just get way more donations than anyone else. Like if you actually just look at the business of streaming, right? Most facecam streamers, they get very few donations from their fans as a percentage of viewers. But VTubers, you go to like a Hololive stream and they're just getting super chats like left, right, and center. So just like, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
Well, I was just saying, as a platform, if we take a cut of that fandom's energy, well, that you can make something probably a lot more sustainable than you could if you were trying to create like another face cam streaming site.
Sure, I 100% agree. Like there's no doubt. You go over to like Marine Stream and you'll see like the entire thing is just red soup,
Yes.
akasupas and everything. Super quick again. I saw Basil in here. Yo, what's up, homie? I don't know if you're still here, and thank you so much for all the follows. I appreciate it. And Mia, the head looking clean. Thank you. Yeah, but 100%, I agree. Why? Just to delve in that a little bit more, why do you think that is? Why do you think VTubers in particular are so, they have such Dono heavy fan bases, or like fan bases who like to support them?
I think it's not necessarily like fans of VTubers donate more. I think it's more like, as a VTuber, you will often have more fans that donate. And what I mean by that is, like, if you watch like an Asmon Gold stream, right? A percentage of his fans are going to want to financially support him, right? I think It's just like there's higher concentrations of those people in the VTuber world, where just it's more people are like that, and they want to be part of the journey, and they want to feel like a backer of this person. I often think about like patronage, right? In like the classical term, and I think when people follow VTubers, they see this person and they want to be part of their journey. They want to be feeling like I can help them do this thing that they're so passionate about and they're so entertaining. And I want to feel like I help enable them to do this. And I think for when you watch more face cam streamers, for whatever reason, I think the mentality is more like, oh, they make money another way. Like it's not my job to help them succeed. Like that's their job to like go after, advertisers or what have you. But for whatever reason, like I think people take a more, parasocial relationship with VTubers, and the good side of that is like a higher percentage of your folks want to be your patron. The bad side is all the downsides of parasocial relationships.
Yeah, no, I see that, and I mean, like to an extent, like all streamers are like to some degree, even at a minimal level, parasocial, right? Because like the way that your audience feels about you and wanting to support you stream is like at a very minimal level parasocial, right? Like they think that they themselves can be a supporter, and there's some psychology behind there. I'm no Dr. K, so I can't answer the psychology behind there. But yeah, I think there is a lot to be, to go into that, and I'm not well equipped enough to go into there. So I like where the answer is at, and we'll stop it there. I do have an interesting kind of, I don't know if it's a bit, but I want to like test you here. You are on the BD side of things on VStream. Tomathan, welcome. Good to see you in here, man. Speaking of BD, another BD for VShojo, Tomathan's in here. Good to see you, man. Let's say you were in a company meeting right now, and you're pitching the idea of VStream and VTubers to some angel investors. They got big money, like 7, 8, 9 figures. They want to go into VStream, but they have no idea what a VTuber is. What are you telling them?
Yeah, I would say, hey, do any of you have kids? Oh, you do? When you ask your kid what they want to do when they grow up, what do they say? Oh, they want to be a YouTuber. Yeah, do you know that that's the answer that 60% of all children in America right now say? Do you think your kid will be successful as a YouTuber? Yeah, it is really tough today. And you're right, it is kind of scary to think about your kid streaming on the internet, showing their face to a bunch of strangers. That seems really bad. But have you ever heard of what a virtual content creator is? A virtual content creator is someone who, instead of showing their IRL self, they show the best version of themselves, the version of themselves that they want to present to the world. This enables people to be more confident. This enables people to show more of their authentic selves, more than if they were showing their real face. And this enables them to be successful when otherwise, in other situations, they would not be. This is about to happen and is about to change the entire entertainment industry. You want to invest in VStream? because we represent that future and are building for it, while everyone else is building for what existed 10 and 15 years ago. That would probably be the start of my pitch there.
Check your PayPal. I just wired you 10 mil. Wow. What a honestly, that's the way you just framed everything was super, super great. I think an important thing that you said there is like, it enables people to stream and be themselves in a way where they couldn't if they were themselves. You know, it's almost like, you know, putting on a mask or a costume in, you know, almost a literal sense, right? And being able to like act as a character or be more of yourself, right? I mean, you might be shy if it's
totally
you're out here showing your face, but in a VTuber, you know, scenario, it's the opposite. So I think that was super cool. Man,
absolutely.
You really are business development of VStream. You are not kidding, man. This is why you're the CEO.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. We'll get into that in a bit. I saw a couple comments. Someone mentioned Kick. I do want to get into that, you know, sometime later, because I think that's, you know, obviously a rivaling. I don't know if it's a rivaling company or what have you, but definitely in the same space as you. I want to talk a bit about that later. And also, Timora said something originally. What did you say? You said, oh yes, a big part about VTubing is art, and then that's like a whole other that's a whole nother almost marketplace, you know, within the stream of like VTubing, because you obviously have streamers and entertainment, and then you have the art side of things. It's a whole other industry that's like mixed into it. So I think it's another very important note. Does VStream have any ambitions to get in on like the art side of things or commissions or anything like that? Because it is.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, how much of the future pitch do you want me to give here?
Talk about the art and that thing for a second, and then we can talk about the future of VStream like afterwards.
Yeah. So I think we're thinking about VTubing and how the VStream product and platform can kind of interact with it in a couple different ways. There's like the horizontal way, and like we can talk about that later, but there's also like the vertical dimension. And to me, the vertical dimension here is the time axis. So you often start as a viewer before you become a content creator, right? Which is like you watching someone and you're like, wow, I love the way that how this person entertains. I love the way that they look. I think I can do this. How do I start that journey? And today you follow someone like Shy Lily and you're like, let me go like look at, you know, let me try and find who did her model. Okay, that brings me to that person's like Twitter account. I then have to like DM that person, or hopefully maybe they have like a Google form to fill out, or if you're really, really lucky, they have like a VGen. And I think like that is a very fragmented experience. It's a very like non-cohesive experience, and it's a very makes it harder to make that transition, right?
Sure.
And I think one of the things that we're really interested in is making collaborators and contributors first party like parts of VStream. As in, when you go to someone's profile on VStream, it lists out all the people who did their rigs, all the people who did their models, the people who did their background music, the people that did their scene transitions, all that stuff. And the idea is that all those then become profiles on VStream. And if you go to that profile, you can actually see all of the rigs across all the various talents that they've had a chance to work with. And right then and there, you can actually like press the button and you can actually see if they're open to commissions right then and there. And if they are, you can actually start that process on VStream. And what's cool about that is, one, you instantly give that person credit, right? Because it's just built into the platform. You don't have to worry about forgetting to give credit or stuff like that. It's always going to be there. And also, we can make it super smooth because we can use the same pay-in and payout systems that we've already built for donations for creators and stuff to power that experience. And we can also make it safer for folks by doing things like escrow services and all that. So absolutely, we want to help people transition into becoming creators because it helps us. And like, we also want to lift up artists because that also helps VStream at the end of the day. And so like, we absolutely have plans for that, but that's probably a next year thing rather than something that's going to be happening anytime soon.
Gotcha. I mean, that sounds super intuitive, especially obviously VTuber oriented. If I can go just, you know, a few clicks away without having to like look and scavenge and like sometimes like even translate different, like a whole page just to see like if they're open, what their rates are. And, you know, it's complicated. If there's an easier step, I think that's a huge leap for VTubing in particular.
Yeah, and we want to integrate it through all the other product verticals that we want to build out as well.
So let's talk a little bit about that. I know this will probably be like the biggest, I guess, pitch segment of the interview, but what exactly is your full vision for VStream? Like at its fullest potential, what does VStream look like in your mind? And for the, obviously for the people who are using the site.
Yeah. So I think if VStream was all it was a content platform, I think we would lose every single time, right? Like VStream versus Twitch, VStream versus YouTube, like we're just never going to have the same quality of content, right? YouTube's 15 years old, Twitch is 10 years old. They have giant, successful, awesome entertainers on there that will probably never want to switch to VStream, and nor should they, because they have a good thing going for them. And so I think the way how I've seen video platforms fail in the past is they just want to be a pure content play, right? They want to be, Microsoft's old company. Wow, I should really know this off the top of my head. It's the interview challenges. I'm sure someone in chat will say it, but they pumped $1 billion or something like that into that platform just to beat Twitch. Yeah, Mixer, thank you.
Mixer.
And they couldn't make it happen because they weren't solving a new problem in the world, and all they were trying to do was just solve an existing problem in a different way. And I don't think you can do that. The goal with VStream is to create no longer make it be an apples to apples comparison to these other platforms. We want to become the orange. And I think the way how you become the orange in the room and offer something that cannot be compared to is offer more parts of the experience in one place. And what I mean by that is we're aiming to build it so that if you're into anime, if you're into games, if you're into this nerdy space, and if you're especially into VTubers, you live on VStream.com. And you don't really have a reason to go anywhere else. And so we have the 3 C's of VStream. We have content, which we're currently building, and it's the thing that you see on the site when you go to it right today. The next thing that we're going to be releasing in the next couple of months is community. So we actually want to make it so that that community part is actually housed on VStream.com. And what I mean by community is, you're going to have an awesome stream today with your chat. You're going to go back and forth. People are going to feel really part of, the Domo Arigato Thanks community. But then the stream's going to end. Where does that community go to continue hanging out with one another, right? It's not twitch.tv today, right? It's places like Discord or Twitter or Reddit. That's actually where the community lives and hangs out off stream. But that doesn't feel connected, right? And the activities that I do on those platforms don't then show up on the stream afterwards, right? So, you may have a Discord moderator who does all this work and really makes sure that people are awesome. But when they show up in chat, they don't get any credit for any of that work they've done for you, right? They just look like yet another chatter like anyone else, unless you've given them a VIP flare or whatever. So what we want to do is make it so that you don't actually have to leave to go experience those community things. You can actually stay on vstream.com. And so what we're planning on doing is kind of building a social feed type experience, because when we look at the ways that people engage with communities, the biggest one that people want to be done with is twitter.com or x.com, depending on which ones you like to refer to it as.
I hate this fucking app. Sorry, keep going.
Totally. And we've heard that from everyone. We've heard this from large creators. We've heard this from tiny creators. And the first thing that we want to do is build the social feed into VStream. But if it was just a content platform and just a social feed in one place, that wouldn't be very appealing, right? Because Twitter's going to be better and Twitch is going to be better. So why would I do that? And the thing that we want to really lean into, and the thing that I think that's going to really make VStream seem very different, is the connection between the two. We want to make it so that everything you do flows throughout the entirety of the system. So that as people are live posting about a event or about a stream, those live posts are showing up in the chat feed. And, as you gain community points basically in the social things by replying to stuff or posting good, cool things. And I can kind of go into some of the other cool things because we also want to build like a forum type experience also into this. But like as you basically build up the quote unquote VStream karma system, that now also shows up next to your name in the chat, or so that, you know, let's say you build up 3,000 community points because you're an awesome community member, you've done all this cool stuff, you've posted cool things, all that stuff. That actually shows up next to your name. And now, instead of just seeing, oh, they've been a subscriber for 16 months, which is an awesome indication of how much of a supporter you are, but not how active of a supporter you are. Now, people are like, oh, shit, that person's got 3,000 points. I should pay attention to them.
Right.
And as that fan, I now feel seen. I feel recognized for my work. And now I feel like, yeah, I want to do more of this kind of stuff for this community because I'm now being rewarded for it. And so like doing the community thing, I think is going to be really key, but only if we can make the connections between the two as strong as possible. And then finally, the last C, so you got like the content, community, and then we also want to do commerce. We actually want to build in e-commerce into vstream.com because so many creators, when you ask them, hey, you know, how do you make money at the end of the day? Yeah, they make a little bit of money from like Twitch revenue. Yeah, they make some money from donations, but a lot of times it's like, oh, I have a gamer subs, you know, thing going on, or I have like a merchandise release that I did, or you know, I selling some drama CDs, you know, of just or a voice pack. Like we want to make it so that that's also built into VStream. That not only can you like, you know, be part of someone's community, that you can also watch their content, you can also buy their shit, you know, on VStream. And again, it's not just it's a connection between the two. So that, you know, maybe only if you're a subscriber to a, and so our subscriber, we are subscribers, Twitch subscribers, sorry. It's members on YouTube, subscribers on Twitch, subscribers on YouTube. But if you're a subscriber to someone, you get like 20% off on their merchandise. Or, instead of just doing gift subs, you know, in the chat, you can do gift shirts. Or, hey, I'm going to drop 15 gift shirts in the chat, and I can just type in my address and just get this newest merchandise set to me. Or, hey, I'm going to do an exclusive stream. Only people who bought something the last merch drop can participate in. Like, we want to make it so that all these feeds, like all these things feed into each other. And yes, do we have the best e-commerce platform? No. Do we have the best social feed in the world? No. Do we have the best content platform in the world? No. But what we do have is all of those things connecting to one another and creating an experience that cannot be compared to. And you're like, yeah, I'll drop those 50 features of Twitter that I never use because on VStream, I make way more money as a creator and my fans have a way better time. And I feel like I can run my entire business in one place.
Oh, I love that. Oh, the way you ended that pitch too is just, oh God, that is... Honestly, like, I feel like the energy in chat is the same way that I feel, where, like, that's fucking game-changing. I would love... Yeah, Pace said it. Yeah, merch exclusive events. Like, imagine going into a particular stream. For example, let's say I had the Domo-thon thing on VStream, right? And they implemented this feature. For anybody who gifted, like, I don't know, like, 5-10 subs, right? You are instantly, like... It opens you up to, like, a gifted, like, shirt. Just for that event that like is exclusive to that. I think that's I think that's a phenomenal idea.
And also crazy. Like, you know, for example, as you're building up this community reputation, right? Again, you can reward those who are the biggest supporters of you. Yeah. You know, if you have more than 2,000 community points, you get 20% off on the merch drop. So now, like, you have an actual reason why to lean into the community here on VStream than anywhere else.
Oh man. I can see that working out so well. That is amazing. Oh my goodness. I think that, well, obviously this is a long-term vision that you guys have. When, you know, I know it's hard to say, but ideally, when would you like to have that implemented by? Obviously now, but
yeah, our roadmap basically has. So right now we have streaming kind of in place. We're working on finishing up the kind of standard monetization form. So we have one-time payments, you know, which we call uplifts. We have like subscriptions kind of in the works, and hopefully finishing that off this month. We have gift subs hopefully coming out this month. And then video uploads on VStream come a few weeks after that. So like VStream is actually probably spiritually closer to YouTube than it is Twitch because we actually really care about that offline video experience and that like kind of pre-recorded video experience to a really big extent. But then the social feed, we're hoping to get out in the next 3 months. So before the end of the year. So hopefully the social feed, its beta version will be out in 2 months. And then kind of like the thing that we're like trying to jump everyone into is, part of hopefully by end of the year.
Yeah.
And then the e-commerce side would probably be first half of next year.
First half of
and
next
we already
year.
have
That's quicker than you think.
We already have some merchandise partners who I've already pitched that want to do this. And what's cool is my co-founder Eric. He was actually the head engineer for a site called Teespring.com, which was like one of the very first like influencer merchandising platforms. Who the CEO of that company now runs Fourth Wall, which a lot of creators know about. And so we already have like deals kind of coming, and like we're figuring out how we can kind of build this stuff into VStream.
Wow, that's a lot, and I see chat going off too. I see someone mentioning splits, and
I
guess okay. Well, I'll get into splits in a second, but I just want to ask even before that. I know you guys have a lot of questions, and maybe we can take some at the end as well. I know you guys are like, fuck, I love how like invested you guys are, because I am too, and I'd like to know a lot of stuff. What is obviously you said that your VStream is more akin to YouTube than Twitch. What is...
Yeah.
Obviously the roadmap is long. You want the merch stuff to be incorporated after the first half of next year. What is kind of the first step into pulling people, possibly away from Twitch and YouTube onto VStream? Like, what is going to be, in your opinion, like the first appeal to like making the jump?
Yeah, I actually think the community side of it is going to be really key for us, because it does a couple things. It's for a creator, it's much easier to dip your toes to the water with a new social platform than it is like a new streaming platform, because your business is based off of, your videos and your streams and stuff. You don't necessarily, your business is not Twitch, Twitter, right? But Twitter is kind of like a nice lead gen for your actual business. And a lot of people are like not very happy with Twitter right now. And I think Elon's trying his best to kill it, which is good news for us.
Yeah, it really is.
So like, I think the social feed is going to be maybe the thing that people first interact with on VStream, especially for creators, because it allows them to have a presence. But what the social feed then does for us as a business is it acts as basically lead gen for the content platform that we've built. So because it's just right there and you're already there, and hopefully, again, it's well integrated, like you're going to be seeing a lot of VStream content in that social feed, and it's going to make you discover new creators that way.
Sure.
I also think video uploads is another, lead bullet that we're going to be firing, because we can go to, existing well-respected clipping channels and say like, hey, do you want to upload your back catalog to VStream? And some people will be into it. Other people are like, nah, I'm good. But like, now you can actually view some real content that's like premium content when you go to vstream.com, and no one even has to be live for you to have like a good experience. And then hopefully by end of the year, we're also going to be releasing Chibis, which is our version of shorts. So basically, if you're also into short form content, like you can also get that kick on VStream. And so now we'll have a lot of different entry points into you as an audience member kind of want to get sucked into the VStream ecosystem, because maybe you get linked a really funny post in the social feed. Maybe you are sent a short that you're like, this is super cool, go watch this. Maybe you just go to the site and you watch a clip and it's like very funny. Or maybe you find a live stream and you're like, oh yeah, let's jump into that. But anyway, the content platform pushes people to the social side, and the social side pushes people to the content. And the idea for creators is that you can make way more money on VStream than you can on other platforms, because we're planning to monetize all three pillars of VStream.
Really?
So not only can you make money on the content side, you also make money on the community side, and I can go into our plans there. And also, you make money on the commerce side. Well, who knew? But yeah.
Wait, okay, that's very interesting. Making money on the community side. What does that mean?
What does that look like? Yeah. So when we were thinking about what can we do on the community side of things, right? Because in my when Eric and I were first putting the docs together on like pitching VStream on our own internal pitch to ourselves, this was part of the plan, right? This is like 2 years ago now that we had written this stuff down, and we knew that we had to do this combo of content and community, because that was going to be the way to like get a new platform up and running. And the very first ideas that we had was actually not around social feed, because 2 years ago, people still like Twitter. But what we were interested is creating more of like a forum type experience, more like a Reddit type experience, where like you could basically have a forum tied to your channel that your fans could be posting interesting links, fan art, stuff like that. It could be upvoted and downvoted, right? And you can build up that community score, through forums. But then, the issue with forums is, when we actually pitched this to our, the V streamers, people who are actually going to use our platform, they're like, no, thank you. And for good reason.
Sure.
A lot of our creators today are not giant superstars yet. They're people who are, just getting started, or maybe, mid-tier, but like, if anyone, Iron Mouse is not going to be on VStream anytime soon, right? Because like she's killing it and she doesn't need a new platform. But the people who are willing to try us are people who are more down to try a new platform. And they're like, hey, I don't have a legion of fans to just like post a bunch of content on my behalf, right? Like what I do need is I need you to amplify my voice, right? Because a forum, it amplifies the voice of your fans. But the social feed, it amplifies your voice as a creator, or the voice, or you as an individual. And so they were like, hey, do this social feed thing. And also Twitter sucks. And we're like, you know what? You're right. Let's do that. But I still had this forum idea, still kicking in the back, right? Of like, I really like that idea. And what we came up with was like, wait, could we combine the two ideas? How could we combine the two ideas, right? Because they seem very different. And the idea that we came up with was around hashtags. So like hashtags on Twitter, every VTuber uses one, right? Every VTuber has an art hashtag. Be like, hey, if you're going to do fan art of me, add this hashtag so other people can find it, stuff like that. But the problem with like hashtags is they're not moderated, right? Anyone can post anything to any hashtag, right? And if a really popular VTuber does a hashtag, oftentimes it's where antis send a bunch of hate messages to them. It's where like Billy bots will like, just flood it with book recommendations and stuff. And suddenly, how many times has Ina had to like replace her art hashtag? Like a million times, it feels like. But what if you could own that hashtag? Like, what if you could, just like you petition Twitch to own like a certain emoji name, right? Or emote name. What if you could petition VStream to be like, hey, I want Domo art, hashtag Domo art to be my owned hashtag, right? Or maybe you have a few of these. Now, when people do something in the social post or in the social feed, and they add Domo art as a hashtag, they're basically submitting to a forum called Domo art. And what happens is when you go to Domo art now, the site kind of changes, and now you have a kind of a forum type experience where all the social posts that are either links to cool stuff or interesting points or fan art or whatever it is, right? Now they're all there, but instead of it just being a chronological order of things that have been posted with the hashtag, now they can be upvoted, they can be downvoted. Your channel mods can kick shit out if they're like, yo, this is inappropriate, right? Just get this out of here, right? And now you have a curated experience tied to like that social feed. And now this is where you can start to monetize it. Because if you're a Domo and you own Domo art, you can ask your fans can basically guild the posts there, right? People in chat have already been writing Reddit Gold a few times. But Reddit has this cool feature where if you're a fan of a post, you can spend some money to gain this Reddit Gold thing to like basically award a post something cool.
Right.
Currently, all Reddit Gold money goes to Reddit, right? None of it goes to any creators, as far as I'm aware. But what we want to do is have something called Stardust. And all Stardust is always tied to a certain channel. So they're buying Domo's Stardust. They're not buying like a global Stardust. And let's say they buy 100 Stardust for $100. I'm making up numbers because we haven't figured out what we want this to cost yet. But 50 of those dollars are going to go to you as a creator. But I still get the 100 Stardust that I can then use to like have fun with the community, to like make certain comments have some flair, or to like award a post, or do all kinds of fun community actions. Well, what you're doing now is you're now making passive revenue, just like you make from ads, right? You're making passive revenue just from your community hanging out on VStream. And what's better than ads here is your community is also having a good time, right? Like you're actually having like they're actually using this thing to have a fun with each other. And so what's cool is now you have a financial incentive to have your community on VStream. They have an incentive because they're having a good time, and they're also getting rewarded for all this community action and stuff, and they're getting, kudos and community points and all that stuff, which then shows up in the chat, and they get awards for that, and chat's gonna be like, yo, dude, I saw you did that thing, so funny. Whatever, right? And now you have this virtuous loop going on where like you are now making money hand over fist better on VStream, and everyone's having a better time.
I think just to play devil's advocate there, I can see people potentially favoring just saving their money for when their favorite streamer goes online, and then just gifting subs, because as opposed to like Reddit, right, and Reddit Gold, and like basically the same like methodology, you would buy Reddit Gold or whatever because there's no like kind of other avenue to spend your money. Whereas on VStream, if you can basically have money and do anything, I personally as a viewer would probably want to just save the money to like gift subs. You know what I mean?
But why? Like, why do you want to gift subs, right? Like, what is the psychology about gifting subs that makes you want to do that? I can tell you.
That's a good question.
If you want.
Yeah, you please, yeah.
It's because you get recognized when you do gift subs. When you currently like if you're on a stream and you drop 50 gift subs, people freak out. The chat freaks out. The streamer freaks out. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, thank
Domo
you
just
so much."
50 subs. Yeah.
People freak out, and that recognition is what you're craving, right? You're seeking recognition from people you respect and your peers, right? And you want to feel good, right? You want to be seen. And so the trick is to make it so that you always get recognition for any time you support a channel. That like people freak out and people really love you when you do good stuff for creators that you love.
Yeah.
And like that's like that's where the building a good product comes in. Is like making people feel like they're getting recognized, and that when no one likes being Donowalled, right? Which is like, hey, I tried doing a cool thing and then they didn't really see me, right? And like maybe they should like get off their high horse and like realize that like the streamer's busy. But like, that's why people don't like feeling Donowalled, is that you feel like you did something cool and you didn't get the reward. Sure. And so the trick is with Stardust is making it feel like you are getting rewarded. You're getting that kudos, not just from the creator, but from your peers as well.
Sure. That makes sense to me. Chat, I have the most 6-head idea ever. So you said you can like claim your own hashtags, right? Petition to claim your own hashtags on VStream. I'm gonna claim to petition for the hashtag VTubers, and then just claim all the money there. Oh my god, chat. Am I not fucking 6-head right now? I'm gonna be making so much money on VStream. Oh
yeah, I don't think we'd allow people to own hashtag VTubers or hashtag baseball.
What?
I think your name will have to be in the hashtag you own.
Oh man, the Fine Bros. Yeah, it really is. It is such a Fine Bros moment. Oh man. Okay, well, you know what? You caught me there. I was close. It was not a good. It wasn't not a good idea. If
look, I love where your head's at. I want people to try and break the system for sure.
I'm pretty sure you guys have thought of everything like outside of that. So,
I wish. People continue to use the platform in surprising ways.
Yeah. Okay. This question has been floating around. Like, obviously, money is like the probably most important factor for streamers, because like, why would I move platforms if I can make, like some people were saying, like, what is the split on YouTube? 70-30, I think. That's infinitely better than Twitch already. So, and it's, for most people, it's like, how much better could it be? What is VStream split as of right now?
Yeah, so we do 70-30 on all one-time tips, aka uplifts, and all sub revenue is all 70-30. So basically we're trying to match YouTube and what they do. And then advertisements, which are probably honestly a couple years off because you need a lot of traffic for ads to make sense.
Right.
We'll do a 55-45 split, again, matching YouTube, who I kind of consider the gold standard when it comes to like treating creators well when it comes to monetization. Not treating creators well when it comes to a lot of other stuff, but when it comes to monetization, for 15 years, they've been pretty good at this stuff. And then we're playing 50-50 for Stardust. And then is there any other forms of monetization? And then for the e-commerce stuff, we'll probably just take like a 5% service fee on top of whatever you're selling it for.
Wow, 5%. That is very like generous towards the creator. If like
yeah, I mean, like we're not doing any of the work there, right? We're not actually producing any of the merchandise. We're just hosting it. So it's like pretty cheap for us to do all that work. So we don't need to take a big cut.
Gotcha. Man, sorry, you guys have a bunch of questions. If we don't like address them eventually throughout the interview, save them for the very end because you guys all have very good questions, and I love the very critical ones, especially. We will get there. We will get there, and if we don't get there, then there's an opportunity for you guys at the end. Now I want to move on. We mentioned it very briefly. Kick is a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's funny. Right before this stream, I saw, oh god, like, what is his name? Oh, Aiden Ross. He like supposedly had this interview with Kim Jong Un, and it turned out to be a fake. I like popped into the stream like right before I started this one. It was obviously going to be fake. It wasn't set up to be like real. Like, no, I don't think anyone actually thought like he was going to come on. But anyways, I'd like your thoughts on Kick, because I know a handful of VTubers are not, they haven't moved, but they have been considering the site, and mainly for their, I believe the split is 90-10, if that is correct. And if that is correct, that is fucking huge for the creator.
Yeah.
What's your general take on Kick?
As a policy, I don't like to say bad words about other people's space, because it's not like it's not how you do good business.
Is that so? The general consensus is you think that Kick is bad?
I think Kick gets to play by different rules than everyone else.
Okay.
For example, their 95-5 split. It's 95-5. It's not.
Is it 95-5? Okay.
95-5. That barely covers the payment processing. Like, as someone who's actually like does this, like that, you like payment processing fees are pretty massive, especially if there's any percentage of your money happening with chargebacks or stuff like that, which I'm sure is happening a lot in Kick. And so like they're not making any money from 95.5. They're making negative money from 95.5.
Really?
Totally. There's no world where you can do that at all. Like that's an impossible split for a business to actually do. But you know what they have that no one else has is a casino, right? Like the fact that streaming can basically be a loss leader for them, where they don't actually have to make money from the streaming stuff. They just need a percentage of their audience to convert into using the casino. That's where all the money comes from for them.
Right.
And so they're able to offer these crazy incentives to creators because they really care about making money from the platform or the content side of things. They care about this other stuff. So like that, they just play by completely different rules that no other platform can match, for all the good and all the bad that comes from that.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I agree. It's just tough because obviously, I think even past that, there's like, I'm no like moral elitist, but there are like, some people have some like moral obligations to like not stream a Kick because like their affiliations with like, what is the big things like crypto and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a crypto casino basically. That's who it's stake.com is a crypto casino that backs them and it's the primary folks, and you can actually do gambling streams on Kick, which is a big draw. Yeah.
And I mean, for those who are interested in that, you go there, and I mean, it's indisputable that a 95-5 split is incredibly generous for the creators. So it's tough to say like if your favorite creator, hops on Kick, it's you can judge your favorite creator for like hopping on there.
Look, everyone should get their bag. At the end of the day, everyone should get their bag. We don't have a casino, so we can't offer 95.5, but my goal is to make sure that every creator on VStream gets their bag. Like, And if they feel like Kick is a better place for them, they should absolutely 100% use Kick. Like, we want people to use VStream because they think it's the best platform for them and their fans.
Right.
And, like, both sustainably as well as having all the features and stuff that they want. So, like, you know, if Kick, quote-unquote, wins, and if they win by a bunch of creators making more money than they ever have, I will feel good about the world. Because I want creators to be successful. And I think I can make them successful with VStream, but if Kick can make them more successful with their platform and what they do, they should do that. Because creators deserve to be successful.
I think I wholeheartedly agree with that. And it's like just to get that bag mentality, you know, depending on like how you do it. Again, it's like up in the air. I'm not no more police or anything. I do want to ask though, I heard that they are introducing an hourly rate to stream. I don't know if anybody else has heard this. If you've heard this,
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard they were introducing an hourly rate to stream as if it was like a full-time job, right? Like you're getting paid by the hour to stream. I don't know if it's on top of like all the gifted subs and whatever, on top of the 955 split. Just that alone,
It is.
like streamers getting paid an hourly wage to stream. What are your general thoughts on that?
I think it's awesome. Look, anything you do to make streaming more sustainable for folks, like by offering basically guarantees, right? Because the problem with streaming today is there's no guarantees. Like you have to be at the whims of your fans, right? Like if your fans are going to watch you that day and then they're going to like give you some money that day, that's great. And if an advertiser is going to come by and want to do a sponsored stream with you, awesome. You made rent that month. But that doesn't happen all the time. It's not recurring revenue. Subscriptions are recurring revenue, but it's very hard to get like enough subs to, you know, pay rent for a lot of folks. And so that's why paying the hourly thing is so attractive for so many folks, is because like they know if I turn on, I hit the go live button in OBS, I stream for the next 6 hours, I'm guaranteed a minimum of this, no matter what else happens. I think that's awesome. Like I think that's great for creators. We don't have enough money in the bank to offer anything like that. Like just being real. Yeah. Like we don't, like Kick is way better funded than VStream, 100%.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it just ties into kind of the same answer every time of like the way that Kick is generating their money, or like, you know, where they're getting their money from. I don't even know if they're generating any money from hosting the site, really. I think they're probably at a negative in general. But yeah, it just comes to that, and no one can beat a casino at that rate, like you were saying.
What would be interesting is, are you allowed to multi-stream when you're getting the hourly rate? Because we have zero multi-stream restrictions. People can multi-stream onto 10 sites, VStream being one of them. I don't care. Like again, you're the creator. You decide where you want to go. Again, we just want people to use VStream if they think it's going to be what's best for them. So, like, you know, I would tell creators, multi-stream on Kick and VStream. Like, you know, if you can do it and make a bunch of money, go for it.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's free money. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to sign that Kick contract right now. No, I'm kidding. So, man, there's a lot that I want to talk about. And I know I only said that I would get E for like an hour and a half. We might go a little bit over if that's okay. But, like, this conversation that we're having is very engaging, and I'm really enjoying it.
I'm happy to keep going as long as you want.
Cool. We won't keep it too long here. But another question that I have, and this one is for me personally, is I see some may argue, but really this is me playing devil's advocate again. I might argue that a platform for VTubers, you know, specifically, may be too niche of a target audience, because obviously, like, out of like the word, you know, out of streamers and streamer community in general, only a small fraction are VTubers. So you're attacking a very niche audience. Just what's your opinion on that? Like on the idea of that, like you might be attacking too niche of a target audience.
I think I have two things around that. And this is definitely the thing. If you're talking about what comes up with investors, this is the thing that comes up with investors the most, 100%. This is their biggest concern. My thing here is twofold. I think most VTubers have yet to start. Like, if you're actually just like, VStream is not here for a short-term win; it's here for a long-term win. And I'm betting, and the company's betting is on the hypothesis that there is going to be this new wave of creators as the technology makes it easier and easier, as mocap gets better, as people are able to, work with artists easier and become VTubers that way. Like, there's going to be a wave. And the idea is not to move all the existing creators onto VStream. That's not really part of our plans. Like, we will do that, and we'd welcome existing creators onto VStream. But our plan is to get this new wave to start their careers on VStream. And that's where we're expecting to get the most success over the next 5 years. And like, all the technology is moving that direction. Yeah, and I'm, I think my co-founder Eric is, he's invested in a bunch of these companies working on this stuff too. So like, we there's a lot of people working in the space kind of in the background. So that's like one thing is we're less focused on what the market looks like today and more focused on what it's going to look like over the next decade. And then the other thing is I don't think VStream is going to be VTuber exclusive forever. And we aren't actually today. Like, if you actually look at our TOS or you look at our rules, nowhere in our rules say you need to be a VTuber to stream on VStream. Everything about our branding says that, right? Like, VStream is synonymous with VTubers, right? But technically, nothing stops a Facecam streamer from being on the site. They would just be, be kind of weird, and they'd show up and people would be like, what the fuck are you doing here? But like, they wouldn't be breaking any rules. And the reason why we did that is to enable people like yourself, actually. And we've actually talked about you on, in the VStream office. But like, you are part of the VTubing community. You're not a VTuber yourself, but you interview VTubers, you prop them up, you give them a platform, right? Like, and so we want to continue to enable people like you and people in the wider Annie community. If Giguk ever wanted to stream on VStream, I'd be like, hell yeah, dude, get on here. Like, I think the aperture of the type of creator on VStream will expand over time. I think VTubers is where we want to always be associated with. We always want to be associated with like the anime and gaming communities. But like, I don't think it's going to be the end all be all. If you fast forward VStream, today, just like on Twitch for a long time, there was no just chatting category, right? Yeah. You had to put in a video game. But people kept doing this just chatting thing, and people kept doing this thing, and then eventually Twitch was like, oh shit, we should like lean into this, right? And then created that category. Now there's a whole type of creator that didn't used to exist on this platform. And that's how I kind of see how it will evolve over time on VStream as well.
Yeah. Solid answer. Yeah. I mean, thank God. I'm not, someone said it in here. I'm not gate kept for the VStream. Yes. Thank God. Yeah, I have so many more questions, but I do want to save some time for you guys. Hang on to your questions for just a little bit longer, guys. I had another question. Oh, yes. So you mentioned it just briefly. You're not in it, you're not looking at the audience and what it looks like right now, but you're looking at it for what it may look like in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's a very big question, and I've been asking it ever since I started this, being in the VTuber space and making content. And it's, I came to the space August 2020, so just a little over 3 years now. And it's changed quite a bit community-wise, obviously. We've seen some VTubers go into the corporate space and all that, et cetera, et cetera. What do you personally think VStream is... Sorry, not VStream. What do you think VTubers are going to look like in the next 5 years?
I think a couple things. I think VTubing will continue to be professionalized over time because it's just like how an industry matures, right? Like you go back even just 5 years on Twitch, right? Like it was way less professional. It was way more what felt personable to me. But then like people realize this is a business, right? And everyone's trying to make their bag at the end of the day, as they should. And so it became more professionalized. Now streaming is more professional than ever. There's professional managers, there's whole orgs and companies built around it, stuff like that. And I think that will also happen in the VTubing world. It will mature and it will continue to professionalize. I also think the barriers to entry will be lowered over time as well.
Sure, I agree with that.
I think it's still somewhat intimidating to become a VTuber, right? Like you have to there's no rules written down anywhere how you do this, right? There's no like, one click, do this thing for me. It's a lot of social negotiation. It's a lot of like navigating new experiences that you've never done. I remember when I got my Live 2D model, I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like trying to like look at YouTube videos, like how do you do this? Like how do you like reach out to people? Like who do you reach out to? How do you know if they're reputable? Like all this stuff. And it just wasn't, it wasn't there. And I think that will be there in the next 5 years. It will be much more dead simple. Like, oh, you want to get into this space? Boom. Like this is how you do it, right? And there's lots of resources on how you do it and a lot of different avenues to do it as well. So I think that will also change over time. And then finally, this is the thing that I'm hoping happens. This is more of an offshoot. I think the way that people engage with VTuber content will change over time as well. And what I mean by that is, again, we're doing the same thing with VTubing that we did with Twitch for the last 10 years, which is like someone creates a video file, they upload it to some servers, those servers rebroadcast it, and then there's a live chat next to that stream. But like, why does it have to be that way? Like, why do we have to treat VTubers the same way that we treat facecam streamers when they're digital creatures that like we can do interesting stuff with? Why can't I view the scene from a different angle than the rest of the audience? Why can't I pay some money to see them wearing a certain cosmetic that's unique for me and not for everyone, right? Now, you lose some stuff there because a big part of streaming is the communal, that we're all experiencing something together,
right?
And in the same way, and then we can kind of engage with that, right? But I do think there's interesting things that we've yet to explore because we're too afraid to change the status quo. And I hope that like we want to lean into some of those new technologies and really leverage the fact that like we're not held back by the flesh. We can do cool shit. And like I don't know what that looks like, to be quite honest. VStream's not really focused on the production side of things right now. We're more focused on the broadcast and the monetization and the community and all that. But I do hope that the production side of things has a real quantum shift over the next 5 years, and the way that people engage with the content completely is different than anything else.
Yeah, no, I you opened up my mind to like another like possibilities there. Like let's say, your favorite VTuber debuts, and obviously people go immediately to Twitter to like post memes and stuff, but what if you can like make clips where you can like attach a little like cowboy hat on like your VTuber's model, right? But only in like your perspective, so it doesn't like skew it for everybody else. Obviously, that's like very intuitive with like VTS software or whatever software they're using. But yeah, I think you're right. Like people are viewing it in a traditional like face cam sense, and not in like the flexibility of, oh, they're a VTuber, right? You can potentially alter things digitally, but we haven't gone there yet. So I think it's a very, very interesting concept for sure.
Yes.
Cool. I totally agree. There's so much that we haven't explored, and luckily we have companies like VStream to explore for us. And so, we'd like to see that in the future. Now, I think my final question here, and then I'm going to open up some more questions from chat. We can pick there. But obviously VStream, I can only imagine it is extremely hard trying to start a company, especially with a community as maybe nitpicky as the VTuber community, because they like things very particular. What is the most difficult part about starting up VStream? And how have you guys overcome those struggles? And if you haven't already, how do you plan to overcome those struggles?
Yeah. And this is in the context of like the VTubing community, right? Because we kind of talked about like the cold start problem and all that stuff before.
Yes.
But like
community centered problems, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Yeah. So I would say the biggest challenge that I think we face on the community side of things is people just want us to make Twitch again. And I don't want to make Twitch again. I don't think anyone here wants to make Twitch again. Like, for example, people are like, why don't you offer what are they called? Like the panels? Yeah, panels.
Panels.
I want panels on my profile. I'm like, well, why do you want panels? Like, what does panels give you that we don't? And like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the problem that you're trying to solve, rather than immediately jump to I want a familiar solution.
Right.
I think that is that mentality of like, I just want it to work the way that it currently works, and I'm not open to new ideas. That I think is something that is somewhat of a challenge that we face. And people, for example, one of the things that we do, which is very different than Twitch, is we actually have a 2-phase go live process, where not only do you have to like start streaming in OBS, you also have to click a button to go live on VStream. And the reason why we do that is so that you can actually see a preview of your stream before you go live, right? And you can actually ensure that your sound sounds good, and we encrypt it so that only the streamer sees this stuff and no one else. And then when you feel comfortable, you can hit the go live button. And then it's also a 2-phase stop, where you actually explicitly hit a button to like stop the stream on VStream, and then you stop the stream in OBS or whatever your streaming platform is.
I would love that.
And the reason why we do that is because currently, let's say you lose internet or your power goes out or something like that. Twitch has no way of knowing, did they mean to stop the stream, or like did they actually stop the stream, right? Because unfortunately the technology, there's some RTMP frames you could look for that, but not every client supports them, and it's complicated. The technology, unfortunately, doesn't let you know explicitly if someone meant to stop the stream or if they did stop the stream.
Right.
And for us, because we have an explicit button that does it, your stream will never be interrupted. Also, again, because we're more spiritually, closer to YouTube, your stream actually becomes a VOD that lives forever. And this gives us the exact start and end for that VOD, right? That we can kind of rely on. People don't like that. People all the time, every day I hear someone complain, why do I have to hit the start stream button? Why do I have to end stream button? I just want to hit one button. I'm like, well, we're trying to create something better. And I agree. We should have some setting where if you want to skip all the nice things that we built for you, you can. But like, that is, maybe it's a personal challenge. It is actually, no, it is a personal challenge. It's probably not a company challenge. But that mentality, I think, does like bring me down a little bit for sure. Other challenges is like the kind of the standard one that you're kind of alluding to, which is the VTubing community is like somewhat suspicious. I don't think they're just, I think someone was like asking, who are VStream's backers? We need to know their backers when we were first like announced that we're getting this thing started.
Right.
And like, do you care? It's our moms. Eric did the majority of the fundraise or the money himself. Former executives that Eric has worked with, and that's it. Like, I think people are assuming that we're backed by Russian money or a casino or something like that.
Sure.
And we're like, no, it's just us. We're just regular people trying to do something cool for the community. But that suspicion and stuff, I don't mind it, because I want people to push us to do better. I want people to hold us to a ridiculously high standard, because that's the standard I want us to live at.
Yeah.
We won't always meet it, and we're going to screw up, right? Like, absolutely, we're going to screw up probably many times. But like, I want us to be held to a high standard, and I want people to use VStream. I've probably said this at least 3 times now. I want people to use VStream because I think it's what's best for them and the best platform out there. I don't want people to use VStream because we told them to trust us. Like, just say, I want people to look at the actions that we do rather than the words that we say.
Right. I think it's a great way to lead by example, right? And just not by some false promises, because you do have a lot lined up, and I think people have a lot to look forward to. And so it's exactly what you're saying. Like, you guys just have to prove yourself. Thanks, Mom. All right, chat. Everyone in chat say thank you, Mom. Everyone say thank you, Mama E. Thank you. I think it's like what Mossy has said in chat. That might be because people have actually been bitten before, right? Like, obviously,
totally.
There's some nasty people that have gotten to the community, like the guy. What was that one guy who like cheated Bao in Vienna from that, like, the animation studio or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
And yep. I think it was like, obviously the other newest platform is Kick, and where they're getting their funding is questionable. So like, I understand why people are speculative in the first place. So it's not
totally,
it's only in good nature, right? But I think you guys are, I think why I'm so like attracted to VStream is not even really the company itself, if I'm being honest, although you have pitched us amazing features, but it's more for you guys. Like I've met E and I've gone to the office and you guys are great. What you're promising is, is technology that can, and like communities that can help like tighten our communities that are already existing. And I think you guys are doing something good here. And I think people resonate with that. That's why people are so like open to the idea of trying something new, because I think if it was anybody else, they would be like, you know what? I'm just going to forget it and stick to Twitch or something, like people can see like your vision.
Yeah. And I think one of the issues that we have, and one of the things that we absolutely need to get better at, is getting the vision out there more, because I think everything I just pitched today with like the visions of the community platform, the vision of the commerce, and connecting them in this really interesting way, and eventually allowing you to like become a VTuber more easily, and promoting artists and promoting contributors and all that stuff, is nowhere on VStream.com. Like it's
right.
We never talk about it anywhere, and it's not because we don't. It's a secret. Like I'm here in public talking about these things. It's because there's like 7 engineers, maybe like more if you count like some of our contractors that we work with, but like, there's 10 engineers, and then there's Ada on the community side, but that's it. And engineers, like we think about products and we think about shipping things. We don't think about like marketing and like storytelling and stuff like that. And that's just something that we got to get better at, because like we have this cool vision of the future, but no one knows about it but us.
I think you said it best. I think the moment you're able to communicate your vision with your audience is where people are going to be. Because like the way that you were explaining us the connectivity and the pillars of what you have, like the commerce and the community, everything combining together, and like, like event specific, like, gifted merch and stuff, and like all that is like revolutionary. When I first heard it from you guys, I was like, holy shit, like why hasn't anybody done this? I think like companies like in China have done this before with like, Bilibili and like all the connectivity with like other apps and stuff, but no one's really doing it here. But no one knows that you're doing it yet, right? Or at least that's like your plan to. I think the moment that you're able to communicate that with everybody is the moment where people are going to be like, holy shit, like this is what they're getting at. That's crazy. And I'm excited to see that from you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, we just need to figure out how to turn it into like a one-pager, because I can explain it over a 30-minute interview. It's really hard for me to just like get some fancy bullet points that people can immediately grok the vision.
Right. Yeah, sorry. I've had you for so long here, and I appreciate you, E. I told this guy I would cut it short, and I've gone even longer. So this last segment will be specifically for you guys. If you have any questions, lay them out now in the comments. I know you had some good ones earlier. If you guys could like retype them if they weren't addressed, that would be perfect. I see you guys, some of you guys already like copy pasted that shit. That's perfect. So we're gonna pick out a handful. I don't know if we're going to be able to address them all, because I know you guys have some very intuitive questions. Before we get into this, E, if we don't address some questions, is there any sort of alternative where people can go here to get their questions addressed, like a forum or something?
Yeah, I think our Discord server is all that marketing and stuff that isn't on the website is in Discord. So we use our Discord as our community support hub. It's where we post every time we do a deploy, which is oftentimes multiple times a week. We always write deploy notes in there. Like our Discord is a thing you should join. It's discord.gg/VStream, or you can just go to vstream.com and hit the Discord button on the top right corner.
Yeah, and if someone could link their Discord invite or something, one of like Bell or maybe even E or like someone here, like invite their just drop the Discord invite. If you're not able to, because I think we might have blocked links, you can send them to, okay, never mind, you go over there, guys. Perfect. Okay, that's that. Let's get into some questions, guys. Just keep asking them and we'll pick from the handful. This first one Pace was just ready for. I know Pace has been definitely hungry to ask this question. So I love how VStream is very VTuber content focused, and you put their ideas first instead of your own. Does VStream have plans for OBS automation? Like if someone redeems a thing, they can trigger something in OBS, like auto toggle source visibility.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, okay. Wait, that last part threw me for a loop. Like if someone redeems a thing, they can trigger something in OBS, like auto toggle. Yes. Okay, yes. The answer is yes. So one of the cool things about VTubers was that interactivity that I kind of hinted at before. And I think one of the things that people do on Twitch today, which is awesome, is like reuse the redeem system to like do really cool effects that you could never do with a facecam streamer, right? Like, you know, if you go to like a Bloody D stream, her entire shtick is people doing cool redeems and having her model change or having her hair grow or, you know, flipping her colors or any of that stuff. And we'd absolutely want to enable that type of interactivity on VStream as well. We are planning to have a sort of redeem function, and then plugin developers there will be a public and open API that people can use that we're hopefully going to be releasing in the next few weeks. It's just taking us a lot longer than we thought it would. You can actually use those APIs to listen for those events and then, you know, have something happen in OBS or, you know, we want people to go crazy with it.
Yeah, this like coding and API shit is like totally out of my realm. I don't even know what you said. So hopefully that answers your question, Pace. I think it did. This next question is from StuxVT. Won't the 50-50 split for Stardust compared to the 70-30 for other monetization incentives, monetization incentivize not using it to support the creator? Or is this possibly the intention? That's a great question.
It is a good question. I don't think we've thought about it. Like, to be quite honest, like the Stardust split was something that we just kind of like picked a number out of a hat because 50-50 seems right. Fair. I think we want to just see how people interact with it. Like, I think we're much more of the move fast and see how people react and then iterate from there rather than like do a bunch of testing ahead of time and do whatever. I would rather make a mistake fast and then fix it than like never ship the feature in the first place. And so I think we just want to like get something out there. And if people never use it because they're like, whoa, why would I use this instead of doing uplift when I'm hoping the value you get is different. And so there's a reason to do it. But like if people are like, yo, I'd rather do 70-30 for the creator, maybe we'll change to 70-30 or maybe we'll do something else to make it more attractive or what have you. But I think we're just right now, I think things are very TBD. And if you go to our help center on monetization, in the Stardust article, it says everything here is TBD. Like everything here is like what we think we're going to be doing and what we hope we're going to be doing, but like we won't know until we get it out the door.
That's fair, yeah. The next question is from Angora, I believe. I think you know this person. They say, why are you so cool?
I'm not. All right, that was easy.
Come on, you're a cool guy.
I am very passionate about this stuff, right? Like, if you want me to talk about VStream, I can talk for 6 hours straight about it. Like, I'm very, very passionate about this stuff, but if you see me not about VStream stuff, I'm much more chill, and I come across a little bit more calm.
I would equate passion to coolness. That's me.
Thank you.
Akio asks, what does E think of the Holo Plus app social platform? I think it's a good one. You've heard of this, I imagine.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've used it, but I think what Holo's doing, which is super smart, is leaning into the technology side of things. And I think I know why they're doing it from a business perspective, but this is not a business channel. Don't worry about it. But like, I definitely think it's going to really help promote their VTubers. I think this is actually based on what BTS does with their fan app. Like BTS, if people aren't in the BTS army, they have this like super, super, super popular social app that like if you're a super fan of BTS, everyone uses. And it's actually where BTS makes the majority of their money from.
What, really?
Like if you actually look at the parent company and where because it's a public company, they report their revenue. The majority of what money that BTS makes is from that fan app. It's something about 60% of revenue.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, and so I'm pretty sure Hololive is like, oh crap, like this is an awesome way to, again, marry community with content and make it so that you don't, like, they own that community, like, side of things. And so we're just trying to give everyone the tools that Hololive and, you know, $1.5 billion company can offer their talents. We want to give it to everyone.
There you go. I honestly had no idea of that. That is super cool. Also, I saw Cherry pop in. Hello. I don't know if you're watching, but congrats on winning that cutout. We're gonna get a cutout of you here sometime soon. Probably sometime next week. So big fan, a big Cherry fan over here. Okay, next question. And thank you so much for your question, guys. We appreciate it. Pace asks, when is E going live? Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, you can follow me on VStream.
What would you actually stream?
I normally stream. Recently, I've been streaming Slay the Spire, But I really like playing roguelikes, especially card game based roguelikes. So before this, I was playing Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers, because I also am a degenerate gambler, I guess. There's a really cool roguelike coming out, which is like a roguelike poker game. And once it gets out of beta, I'm like, that's definitely what I'm going to be streaming because I love poker. But yeah, if you like roguelikes, if you like card games, you can follow me on VStream, and I stream once every 2 weeks. Currently, I'm trying to get it more frequently, but it's tough.
I say the same thing, E. Don't you worry. This next question is from Donut, and I'd actually like this answered as well. What is the strategy for acquiring users and creators? So out the box right now.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of different strategies. I don't think there's a silver bullet here. Like when it comes to like user acquisition, like I don't think there's just one thing you can do. So there's a few things we're doing on like the business development side, and a few things we're trying to do on the product side of things. On the business development, we are starting to reach out to existing creators that both have used VStream before, as well as people who have never used VStream before, and trying to like create some sort of like creator incentive program to make it so that it's less risky for them to try out VStream. So we are offering to some larger creators like a monthly guarantee, which is like, hey, like we'll offer you X amount per month, but any money you make from subs or uplifts and stuff like that gets subtracted amount away from it. So basically, we're just guaranteeing a minimum. Ideally, They make all their money from the platform itself, and none of it has to come out of our personal pocket. But like, it allows them to know that, okay, if I stream, I'm going to make minimum here. So we are starting to do that, and honestly, we've just started that process like last week because we didn't really have monetization before this. We couldn't really offer stuff to people. So we are doing that. That to me is much more of a short-term play than a long-term play. I don't know of any platform that has succeeded by paying their way, other than maybe one, to success. Like, I think this is much more about just revving the engine, because go to vstream.com today, there's not that many creators, and if the creators that are there, while very passionate and very entertaining, don't have a lot of CCV just yet. They don't have a lot of concurrent viewers just yet. So that is one strategy that we're doing. We're also hoping, like with uploads, that we can start to attract a whole different type of creator, right? People who aren't necessarily interested in being live with VStream, but maybe down to upload their VODs, or if they're a clipping channel, like they do pre-produced content, they can upload their content to us. Or if they, maybe Iron Mouse will probably never stream on VStream, but maybe she'll upload her music videos to VStream, right? No, that's not like I'm not talking with Iron Mouse, by the way. That's not like me like hinting at something. That's just like me hoping for something one day. But like, people have a lot of other type of content that they can start uploading to VStream, and that gives people more shots at bat. And at the very least, it lends their brand and their trust to VStream. And we hope that then that attracts other types of creators and more folks on. And then finally, the social feed, like that's what we're trying to, like that's I think is going to be the big play here, and the big hope is that brings in a lot of folks that then translate over into the content platform and vice versa. And one of the things I didn't mention about the social feed, which I think gets creators pretty excited, there's going to be one follow button. And that's huge, because now you'll never be in a situation where I have 10,000 followers on Twitter, but only 1,000 on Twitch, or vice versa, right? That like, if someone follows you on VStream, they're both going to be push your social content and your content, which is huge for a lot of folks, right? So you have more shots at bat as a creator to grow your community.
Cool. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay.
Sorry.
No. It was good. It was just there was a lot there to absorb, so I'll leave that for the viewers there. I see some homies in here as well, Tron and Invite Ramen. Welcome on in. Hello. I think this may be one of the last few questions here. Akio asks, outside of VTubing and gaming, and I'll also add anime, does E have any hobbies? A little personal one for you.
Watching YouTube, but we already talked about that one. I really like cycling. I was really into it for a long time. I then had kind of an unfortunate accident that someone opened their door in front of me while I was going down a hill, and it kind of scared me for a year, but I'm trying to get back into it now. But yeah, I really love cycling.
Cycling E. That should have been your VTuber model or your OC.
I like being a scientist.
Cool. I think that's all the questions we'll take for now. Again, if you'd like your questions answered, if we didn't ask them here, be sure to join the VStream Discord and they can answer you there. I'm not sure who's moderating that, but hopefully your question gets answered there. Okay. Final question of the evening. Guy with the highlight message asks, how can we support VStream?
Great question. Love that question. I would say the best way you can support VStream is going to vstream.com and like finding some new creators that you can love. And then if you want to financially support us, donate to any of those creators. Like send one of those creators like $100 uplift and $30 will come to VStream and $70 will come to them. That would be the best way to financially support us, is to support our creators.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys. For the most part, that was the interview with VStream's very own CEO, because you are the CEO of VStream. That is correct. So yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you this entire time.
Oh. I'm actually not the CEO. It's really kind of you to think of me that way, but my co-founder Eric would kill me if I actually took that title away from him. I'm just a co-founder. Eric is the actual CEO.
So you're not the VStream CEO that I've been titling you for the past like 3 months?
No, I'm not. But like maybe one day.
Why does everybody in the I didn't make that up on my own, for the record. Why is everybody at VStream telling me that you're the CEO then?
I mean, if you go to our Discord and you go to our Q&A, it has a whole section saying, who are the VStream co-founders? And it says Eric Kozlow, CEO, EGCon, co-founder. So I don't know. It seems like fake news, my friend.
I mean, at that point, you are the CEO then, no?
I mean, I like to think I'm just as important. Absolutely. But Eric does a lot of like the back end business side of things, and I do much more of the product side of things. And also I engage way more with the community than he does.
That's fair. That is fair. He's like the mysterious shadow in the back, just puppeteering all of VStream, I guess. He's puppeteering you, and then you're puppeteering like everyone else kind of down below.
He's just a less public figure.
Fair enough.
I don't think he likes talking to people as much as I do.
Don't got gaslit. I know, man. I didn't even know, guys. Hey, well, now we kind of all went through this collective gaslighting, so that's great. Just another community moment there, guys. That's it for E and I today. We're gonna let him go, but for now we're gonna send you guys off to somewhere else. E, thank you one more time for your time today. I appreciate it. I know you're a busy man. Even traveling, he still makes time for us, so I appreciate it. And yeah, before we go and set up a raid here, do you have any final words for chat?
I would say, first off, Domo, thank you so much for doing this interview with me and asking the hard questions. You don't hold back. Ask me harder questions next time. I'll
really grill into you. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. And then for everyone else, thank you so much for listening. If what I talked about sounds interesting to you, vstream.com, bookmark it, follow some people, and participate in the community. Yeah, looking forward to meeting y'all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Super interesting and an insightful interview. And oh my goodness, Stux, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. You were super generous to Privacy, Artisol, is it Yogia? Maiko and Raiku. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go and find you guys a new home now. Thank you so much. For now, I'm going to send you guys over to... I'm going to find you guys someone super quick. And I actually think that's crazy. Nijisanji Vizelius is streaming today. That's on Twitch? Did they even stream on Twitch? I didn't know. How about we send you guys over there? That just popped up on my homepage. So I'm going to send you guys over there. Pretty cool. Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, Zali is streaming over here. So go show him some love. Do we have like a default Domo raid or something? I don't think we do. I'm literally gonna make one right now. If you do not have a sub to my channel, feel free to use any other emotes. But yeah, thank you guys again for for joining us today. And one more time, E, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the future success of VStream and, you know, just in general, seeing what you guys have to offer us for the community as a whole. So
Thank you.
did that raid not initiate, or wait, is that raid active, guys? I can't tell. Question mark? Wait, do I have to do it again? No. Oh, okay. He disabled raids. Okay, forget it. We're finding someone new. I'm gonna find someone from my list here then. You know what? Let's support the homie Kage. I think he's starting his first day of his subathon today. So go show Kage some love. Yeah, it is. It is his first day of his subathon. So yeah, go in with that little Domo raid message and just ask him how his subathon is going. Only type once, guys. Don't overwhelm me with the raid message. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys. I probably will be on the main channel tomorrow, so I don't really have an agenda. We'll probably just be fucking around. So I'll hope to see you guys tomorrow. All right, take it easy, guys. Tron, Tomathan, good to see you guys, man. Appreciate y'all. Angora, Antares, a lot of new faces, so thank you so much for the follows. Bloody Dia, I know you followed earlier. Thank you so much for joining us. Little Seabiscuit, thank you so much. Umemi, Lily, Jack Shot, Kai, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna hit the raid button now. All right, take it easy, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe, potentially, or Friday. I don't know. Don't hold me to it. Check the Discord or Twitter. All right, see you guys later.